This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Thanks, Squarespace!
Hello Internet!
Hi guys!
Taliesin here.
And Evitel.
Yes, and welcome to a speculation video about Final Fantasy XIV. But it's not any type of speculation video, Evitel.
Okay, what makes it special?
Okay, the brilliant thing about making internet content, right, is that you can come up with all this speculation and you can put it all out there. And when stuff happens that is the stuff that you speculated, you go, I was right! Everyone, I'm amazing at lore. And when stuff happens that wasn't the stuff that you speculated, you just kind of go,
like that Tinker video we made.
and you never talk of it again. I don't even know what video you're talking about.
Yeah, weird.
And so here's the thing, with Final Fantasy XIV, neither of us have completed Shadowbringers, the current expansion leading into Endwalker in a little bit. Where are you in your progress at the moment, Everton?
I'd say I'm about 3/5 of the way through Heavensward.
I've now completed all the patches of Stormblood. I'm ready to start in Shadowbringers, which is why we thought it'd be a really good idea to do a video where we speculate about the lore of Shadowbringers, helped by prompt questions from our Twitter and our Patreon from people who know exactly what they're talking about. I really like the idea of doing a speculation video where everyone else knows the answers already. So you know if we're right or not in real time.
Yeah, because I feel like Final Fantasy drops a lot of hints, right? And clues along the way, and I feel like we're piecing some of them together. Now, I'm almost certain that we're going to get all of this wrong.
Well, the reason I wanted to do this video was because everyone said, as I was getting to Shadowbringers, ooh, Taliesin, what do you think is the meaning behind this? And I would say, and they'd be like, you're an idiot. Evitel, have you cheated? Have you looked up the lore of Final Fantasy XIV beyond what you've been playing in the game?
I literally have not. I have put it in order for Encyclopedia Eorzea.
Ooh.
But I'm not going to touch
Just
that
as well we're
until much
recording
later.
this video before that then. I did obviously have to sift these questions, and some of them are kind of spoilers for you, but not for me.
Okay.
So in that situation, I will answer the question, and to stop yourself being spoiled, you will put on a massive pair of headphones and listen to some music,
Put on my tunes.
and you will not hear my answer.
Not a single word.
But you can hear me now.
No.
Also, some people were very sneaky and they did try and spoil us, like in the actual comments. But luckily, I used a filter to get rid of any comments on the Twitter that didn't have a question mark at the end. So if you tried to spoil us, the Final Fantasy XIV speculation video where everyone else knows the answers already and we don't. Are
Oh my
you
god,
ready
I
for this?
can't wait. I'm going to be so humiliated, but I kind of like it.
Okay, and now here's another thing. I do have like a theory of everything.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
I've got a
Can't
bit of
wait
a
to hear
theory
it.
of everything connected with Hydaelyn and the Ascians and everything like that, which I have organised these questions knowing what some of my answers and some of my speculation is.
Okay.
Okay, Evitel, question 1.
Right.
What do you think the name of the expansion Shadowbringers means?
Okay, so I'm the Warrior of Light, right? You're the Warrior of Light.
Yeah, hang on, I'm the Warrior of Light.
Oh, hold on. We are all Warriors of Light, so my guess is that Shadow is opposed to light? Like maybe the big bad is here. Maybe the shadows have been brought.
What does the big bad look like?
Shadows. like the darkness. I don't. This is the first thing that came to my mind.
So in your case, Shadowbringer is like the bringing of the shadows. So it's like the big bad is arriving.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Okay, cool.
What
Do you want to
about
put on
you?
your headphones?
Already?
I know, because here's the thing. I have watched the trailer of Shadowbringers, and I know that the player character is referred to in that trailer as become the Shadowbringer. I kind of think that maybe we, the Warrior of Light, are going to bring the shadow, and it's about us. Kind of not really left very subtle in the trailer. So maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's what I feel. Evitel,
Is it time?
what are you listening to?
Heavensward soundtrack. What else?
Okay, question 2.
Okay.
What are the origins of the Echo?
Ooh. Well, the Echo is tied to Hydaelyn, right? Hydaelyn is the big blue crystal, and the Echo is the thing that allows us to communicate with her, right? And some people have it. We've got it. Minfilia definitely has it. Iceheart has the Echo. So it's the thing that Hydaelyn gives you.
Yeah, it's like, the way I see it, it's like Hydaelyn's gift, right? So it's like your connection with, and Hydaelyn is like the planet essentially, right? So it's your connection with everything that the planet kind of is. So it gives you like this spiritual connection, which is why you can't be affected by primals, right? Because they're like a spiritual kind of like manifestation.
Right.
And because you've got this connection to the world, that's why you can't be controlled with them.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I see it.
But the echo can be taken away, right? Like I've had a dragon taken away from me.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I've had someone just take it from me.
Yeah.
So it's not that powerful, right? But it is.
Headphones.
God, is this going to be for every question?
Of course, the Garleans do also like give people artificial echoes as well, which is really, really cool. So they get like the effects of the echo in terms of not being controlled by primals, but it's like it's not a connection, obviously, to Hydaelyn. It's an artificial thing, so it gives you some of the benefits, but it doesn't come from the same core. Okay, Evie, you good? So I'm gonna say, yeah, I like it's our connection to Hydaelyn and the planet.
Why do I feel like...
Obviously, stupid question. That's obvious in the game. There's no one laughing at that answer right now because that's so obvious.
Wait, is the echo like the little thing that lets you call people too?
No,
is
it's the
echo...
link pearl.
I know, but is it tied to the link pearl?
No, it's not. Okay.
Is the echo the thing that lets me chat with my guild?
My favourite bit of Stormblood DLC, or like patches, right, was where Alisaie answered her link pearl, but she didn't have like the finger animation that everyone else, you know, like when people have, they go like that. Her animation for her link pearl was literally her hand like this. So it looked like she was just pretending to be on the phone.
That's a massive spoiler, Tally.
Alisaie was just like, hello? Like she was trying to get out of a date. Like, hello? Oh no. Oh, I'm being called. I'm so sorry. I have to go. Right, question 3. Who are these guys?
What?
I'm guessing these are like some characters from...
Yes, clearly
from
old
Shadowbringers,
school.
right?
Oh, no.
No, from Shadowbringers. These are questions about Shadowbringers.
Yes, but like clearly those are like old school Final Fantasy characters.
Okay, well, who do you think they are?
From like another game.
Who are those people?
I have no idea, but I cannot wait to meet them. They say to me like basically Ewoks of Final Fantasy.
Ewoks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like
I guess
civilized Ewoks. Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. I know who they are. Well, I don't actually know who they are.
Oh.
But I know what they're called.
Okay.
Well, okay, so I don't know if they're actually called this, but I know that everyone calls them dwarves. Because I've seen people like talk about them. So I don't know if these things are actually dwarves or if they're like just called something else, but that everyone thinks of them as dwarves or whatever. And I wonder what purpose, like, so, okay, so my thinking is, right, that dwarves are famous for digging. Mm-hmm. Okay? And they dig underground, all right? And I've got a feeling that Shadowbringers has a lot to do with Hydaelyn. Hydaelyn's meant to be the planet, right? So is Hydaelyn like at the is the crystal of Hydaelyn like at the center of the planet, and the dwarves like dig to her?
This is something I've been trying to wrap my head around because like Hydaelyn is the planet, but also the crystal. Yeah.
This is not like a prediction. I'm just saying that like if there are dwarves in Shadowbringers and dwarves love digging. Everyone knows that dwarves love digging.
I dig a
and,
digging
like,
dwarf.
We've got a crystal which is like metaphorically, if not physically, at the center of our world.
Yeah.
Then, you know, all I'm saying is digging things would be pretty useful if we wanted to get to Hydaelyn.
Okay, so Shadowbringers is about digging.
Well,
No.
it's called Shadow because you're digging under the ground and it's very dark there.
Yeah.
Neither of us think that.
No.
Okay, big question. Who and what are the Ascians?
Ooh,
exactly.
Ooh, I was hoping someone would ask this. Because those guys, they just pop up all the time, don't they?
They do, and you know when they're going to because you'll step into a room or something and they'll be like...
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, who could that be? So they're clearly really powerful, right? They've created lots of chaos. Like they've sucked people into other dimensions.
They have sucked off many people into other dimensions.
Yeah, through their holes. And
she's always like this, by the way.
Yeah, sorry, I can't help it. They kept showing up every time I'd fight a primal or something, and they'd be like, oh, yes, you are very powerful. They know I'm all about the light.
Yeah. And you know, like, what happens in Praetorium where they kind of trick Gaius into making the Ultima weapon, and then they take control of the Ultima weapon because it's going to be like a host for their god being born, right?
Right. So they have this god that they want.
Zodiark.
They want to give their god a form. I'm the light, they are the dark. Are they the shadow? Are they the Shadowbringers?
I think that's pretty implied, yeah. You know, when you go to the Crystal Tower and it's all
Yes.
Voidian stuff?
Yes.
It's all Ascian shit, isn't it, right?
Love
so,
it.
like, you know, like the impression is that they certainly are like, and you know, all their portals are purple and stuff like that. So, like, they are aligned with, if they're aligned with anything, they're aligned with the Shadow. Can't remember if it's ever been like said out loud, but like, I feel like it's kind of canon. Zodiark is like the mirror image sort of thing of Hydaelyn. Like, if Hydaelyn is, you know, she represents the light, right? We are
Yeah.
the warrior of light. Then Zodiark is like the dark Hydaelyn. And like the shadow Hydaelyn. Would you put your headphones on just for a second?
Okay.
Okay, so we also know that the Garlean Empire was founded by an Ascian, and that it was founded specifically for the Ascians' purposes, right? So Solus was an Ascian, but he was also a Garlean, which means that, you know, the Ascians aren't like this completely separate thing. They kind of are us in a way, or they can be us, because Solus was both like a Garlean, like a member of the human race, and also an Ascian, which suggests that like the Ascians kind of are at the very least incredibly linked to Hydaelyn, but you know, could also be like mirror images, or could be like among us at all times. We know they can take over bodies and stuff, but Solus specifically was an Ascian. Like, he wasn't controlled by Ascians. He wasn't like worn like a skin suit like Xenos is, for example, now. He was like literally an Ascian. So whether he went through some kind of process to become an Ascian, like during his life, or whether he was like always an Ascian, I don't know.
It's great. I just totally caught up on Twitter.
What is an Umbral Calamity? How and why did we have 7 of those already? A Realm Reborn starts in the aftermath of the 7th Umbral Calamity.
Yes.
Okay, like that's the setting of the game. What do you think an Umbral Calamity is?
An astral is kind of like stars or light, right? I've guessed that. Umbral, umbra, shadow, right? Using my big brain. So
Did you go to an Ivy League school?
I did. So an umbral calamity would be a shadow-related calamity.
Okay, so we have...
Maybe the Ascians? Did the Ascians do bad stuff?
Okay, so I don't know if you remember, but in the King Moogle stuff, there is talk of when King Moogle was doing his stuff up in the clouds, there was like a fight with gods and elements and stuff. Okay, which because I was thinking about this earlier, and like I want to say that an umbral catastrophe is shadow and purely shadow, but I don't know. I feel like it might be more of just like an elemental thing. So is it like each elemental thing has an astral era kind of thing? Or is an umbral calamity when one of those forces becomes like too powerful and balance has to be restored? So it has to be like, so I don't know, like say Hydaelyn, okay? And this is what I think is the plot of Shadowbringers. Hydaelyn is one of these kind of astral forces, right? And she represents light.
Right.
And there's one that represents shadow.
Right.
But also, it's not just light and shadow. It's also like there's one that represents, oh God, I don't know, like say wind, right?
Yeah.
And like, because I think that's the one that was kind of hinted at with Moogle.
Okay.
And so presumably there's a wind one, maybe there's like an earth one and stuff like that. Or
Yeah.
a water one and like a fire one. And you know the kind of stuff I'm talking about, right?
Avatar stuff.
Yeah, Avatar stuff, right? So what if, like, you know, for an astral era to exist, these things exist in harmony, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, you know, obviously these things all want to they're all vying for kind of position. So they have their like warrior, right? And so they have their representative, like their champions. And if one of the warriors happens to be like completely badass, like we are
pretty badass.
then we tip the scales a bit too much. And like Hydaelyn becomes too powerful, right? And we have to kind of reset.
Are you saying that we might potentially not be the ultimate savior of the world?
Well, I think we probably will end up to be the ultimate savior of the
yeah,
world, but I think we
yeah.
have some difficult choices to make.
Ooh, see, that's interesting. Although I do think there are umbral eras.
Oh, really?
Because I
okay.
think my character may have been born in one. Because I spent a lot of time choosing a birthday.
Oh, you're right.
And I think I'm born in an Umbral era.
You're absolutely right. I'm such an idiot.
Maybe there are Umbral calamities, but then maybe you do have an Umbral era.
What other eras can you choose from when you're
Just
choosing your
Astral and
character?
Umbral.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think.
I might be wrong then. I might be wrong. But I mean, I definitely think there's like a sense that these forces, whatever they are kind of like supposed to be in balance and sort of need to be in balance, but are always in danger of not being in balance. And you know, they would like to not be in balance. Like each one would kind of like to be the boss, right? And would kind of like to be more powerful. And if Hydaelyn is our planet, which is kind of what's suggested, does that mean there's like a planet for each of all of these?
That's pretty cool.
Because, headphones on, because in the Heavensward like patch stuff, obviously we come into contact with the Warriors of Darkness. And they are very specifically meant to look exactly like the Warrior of Light, but you know, he's got a dangerous, like nasty kind of little fuzz beard, kind of versions of the people from Hydaelyn, but they're from like somewhere else. So if they're Warriors of Darkness, did they come from like the planet which is Zodiark, basically? Like if Hydaelyn's a planet and Zodiark is a planet, is everyone like a copy of everyone else? So if there was another one, there would be, if there was like a wind one, for example, there'd be like Warrior of Wind. I love that. And it was like all the same people on this planet, but like with that kind of focus. I don't know. Okay, so with that in mind, what happened between Zodiark and Hydaelyn?
Is them clashing what causes Umbral Calamity?
Maybe. Or is them separating what causes Umbral Calamity? I have heard the word conjunction mentioned.
Oh.
Maybe that's because I've been following Witcher stuff recently and I've got it mixed up. I mean, this literally could be the case, honestly. I sometimes get all the different fantasy things that I'm following at any one time mixed up a little bit. Do you ever do that?
Yeah. What if... Do you know how at the beginning of Final Fantasy, you're kind of like born? You know how you're like floating around?
Yeah.
What if you were the child of Hydaelyn and Zodiark? Maybe it's because I don't know if crystals can bone, but like maybe you are born from like these multiple forces.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just said the word conjunction and it got my gears turning.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think there is a conjunction that is being trying to be brought about.
Oh yeah.
But the Garleans have mentioned like a bringing together and a creating of like the ultimate race, which makes me think that that race did exist and that it got separated. So if there was like an ultimate race that existed, which was like a combination of light and dark, and then Hydaelyn and Zodiark separated for some reason, and then like we were, you know, we are the beings of Hydaelyn, we're from light, and like there's everything again, which is pretty much the same, but Zodiark, and that's dark. If we all came together and became like this kind of, you know, so, you know, the Garlean Empire, they love the idea of like a master race, right? Because they're
definitely
fascist.
not fashy.
They're not fascist
not
coded.
fashy at all.
Right? But they do also love the idea of a master race and the idea that we are lesser now, but in the golden times in the past, we used to be so much more, and wouldn't it be great if we could recapture that glory? Nothing fashy about that at all. People got really angry when I called like the Garlean Empire fashy before. But as we can see, there's nothing fashy about anything they think at all.
It's just because everyone's so hot for Nero.
I feel like in some way, Hydaelyn and Zodiark were kind of combined and everything was awesome, and, you know, like beings of light and dark used to travel around being awesome, and then they got separated, and now we're somehow lesser in the eyes of some people, and they would like to kind of conjoin us again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
But also, one shouldn't be allowed to get too powerful. With that in mind, next question. What is the Crystal Tower exactly, and why did it get a whole raid in A Realm Reborn? Because you didn't used to have to do the Crystal Tower mandatory before you could move on from Realm Reborn, but now you do. They changed it for Shadowbringers. So why do you think that is?
You need a vehicle to meet Grahatia, lovely cat boy. Like,
you think it's all for the cat boy?
No.
Obviously, it's for the cat boy.
He's important, right? Because he starts off with one red eye, and then suddenly he has two. He realizes he's He's Allegan, right? He's tied to the
I forgot about
Allegans.
the Allegans. And there's also quite a lot of voidy stuff in the Crystal Tower towards the end.
Yeah, there is, but I thought that was just because the Ascians like wanted a piece of it.
Right.
like I just want to get in on this.
So I have a theory. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
you know, we were talking about how like if one force becomes more powerful and it needs to be kind of like reset and like there needs to be like a battle of gods and elements and stuff to kind of do that. What if the Crystal Tower is a staging post for that? What if like that's kind of like a designated spot and it's a place that exists in like all the dimensions at once?
To balance things
Yeah,
out. Like it's a place where you sort your stuff out.
Exactly, because this is like a thing, this whole like battle between elements and forces is a thing that I've basically just made up. But assuming it's true, you'd need a staging post for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and you know, this Crystal Tower reaches right up into the sky. And like that. And what better place for like everything to converge? And we know that, you know, like, well, I can't really remember the lore of Crystal Tower either, but, you know, we know that, like, the voidy stuff was all there. So, you know, maybe it does exist in both places at once.
So you're telling me that at the heart of Final Fantasy XIV, there's a giant dick metaphor around which all of the troubles of the world converge and then resolve themselves there.
Much like in real life.
Okay.
Details aside, I would say, like, a staging post or, like, some place that exists in all realities at once.
Ooh, because don't they hint at that? If
there was going to be a convergence,
right,
that would be the place to have it.
Right.
Convergence is where everything gathers at one point.
Yeah.
So that would be the point.
And am I remembering correctly that in the Crystal Tower, some of the clones you meet are specifically, they're like, we're from another dimension. Don't they say that?
Oh, do they?
I don't remember.
Well, that would certainly lend credence to my stupid thing. And like, again, everyone that's sitting at home now, there's no one laughing.
No.
There's no one with tears running down their face. There's no one like typing, Tally, you're an idiot in the comments. That definitely won't happen. Everyone right now is staring at the screen going, how did he do it?
Oh.
How did he do it? Like right now, Yoshi P is sitting there going, can't believe it. Okay, headphones on for this one.
All right, let me put a jam on.
Who's the dude calling to you anyway? And this obviously refers to the voice that you hear like in your head in the patch content of Stormblood. And he arrives right at the very end of Stormblood, leading into Shadowbringers. He's in the Shadowbringers trailer. We're talking about, I call him Sandals, because he wears sandals. And he's also got a big hood. And he's also got like a blue glowing arm kind of stuff made out. It looks like it's made out of the same stuff that the Crystal Tower is made out of. The way I'm kind of iterating on a theory that is probably wrong means I'm kind of just becoming more and more wrong in different directions. You know, he is someone that is aware of, you know, the idea that there needs to be balance and is aware of the potential for one force to become too powerful. Whether he has taught himself that knowledge or whether he is like some kind of like more godlike being whose job it is to make sure that that doesn't happen, like with some kind of like divine purpose, as it were, or like spiritual purpose, I guess. Whether it's a role that he's given himself or whether it's a role that has been given to him, I think his role is to like kind of keep check on all of these forces and to make sure they stay in balance, and when the time comes to step in and do something about it, which is why he loves the Crystal Tower so much, right? Right? What track we listen to?
It's called Landlords.
Oh, Landlords is like the best.
It's like such a smooth jam.
So we have touched on this, but just to kind of like explicitly answer this question, just who is the Warrior of Light? Where does he come from? What is the purpose of the character? Just your thoughts on that.
Right, so Hydaelyn chooses someone.
Like a champion?
Like a champion, yeah. Whether we are born from crystal bonking or not, I don't know. I haven't decided how I feel about that, that theory
I think I've heard you say the word bonking before, but I like it. I approve.
So we are chosen, we're born, don't know how that works exactly, by Hydaelyn as a champion to do her good work, which is basically in line with what the Scions want a lot of the time, I think.
Killing primals.
Yeah, taking care of people and creatures who seem to be getting a little bit out of hand on Eorzea. It's actually a good point. I actually don't know what the what my point is, other than to like be really strong. And I found the Scions, and we seem to align.
Taking my theory,
Yeah.
and this isn't like a prediction, this isn't a theory, I'm just saying, like, what if the Crystal Tower is like a staging post where kind of like the battle of balance, let's say, has to happen, and each, whether it is just Umbral and Astral or whether there are kind of like other elements involved, if each one has a champion, and it's like our job to sort that shit out.
Ooh.
The Warrior of Light would turn up, and the Warrior of Darkness would turn up, and like the Warrior of Wind would turn up, or whatever. If that's even a thing. Like, I don't know if it's just like Astral and Umbral, if there are other like elements involved as well. But let's say, just because it's fun that there are, and like the Warrior of Water turns up and all that shit.
Ooh.
And they've all got like, and they are all from different planets, which all have like a Hydaelyn, but they're all called something else, and they all represent like a different thing. So Hydaelyn is light, Zodiark is dark, Windy Windface is air, like, and they all kind of converge. They all converge on the Crystal Tower, and they do the fighting for their respective like planets, as it were.
And that would be interesting. And like each element would have its own crystal. Like Hydaelyn is a giant crystal, right? Like, and I'm guessing that each one would have one of those. You all have a crystal, you all have a champion, and then you all go to the Crystal Tower, which is made of all the crystals.
You all converge upon the Crystal Tower.
Yeah, converge upon the Crystal Tower, which is across dimensions. You have it out, and you kind of restore balance.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
It's definitely wrong, but I like it as an idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely no one sitting at home laughing at this. This next question is, I'm skipping a question to go to this, because what do you do in the Shadowbringers normal raids that make people view that story as an important part of the overall Shadowbringers story? Assuming you know what the Alliance raids are a crossover with, how does that fit into the Final Fantasy world? So do you know the crossover in the raids that happens in Shadowbringers?
No.
It crosses over with another video game.
No!
And that video game is Nier Automata.
Oh!
So are you familiar with Nier Automata?
I know it exists.
What do you know about it?
Literally nothing, other than it has a funny name with weird capitalization.
Because I didn't really think much about this question, but just based on everything that we just said, what if I told you, like very, very basically, that the story of Nier Automata was a war fought in proxy. So there are aliens that have robots that fight, and there are like humanity has robots that fight, and they fight in proxy. They don't actually fight themselves.
Oh.
Like the human robots and the alien robots fight each other, and they do the war for them.
Right. Like
would that make sense to the shit we just said?
Like a champion would do.
Oh. So like a war being fought in proxy.
Yeah.
As in the thing we literally just described in the last question.
Okay. Wow. Okay, this is interesting. This is like big, but I don't feel spoiled for anything.
Yeah,
I feel
totally.
like my brain is just expanded.
Even if anything we just said about the Crystal Tower is false, I feel like this question has made me think that there is definitely a war happening by proxy, and we are the representative of Hydaelyn. Well, I mean, that's obvious anyway. We're the representative of Hydaelyn. Okay, let's move on.
Oh!
A nice break just for a second before we get to the serious stuff.
Hello friends! The day has finally arrived, the culmination of all the amazing work we've been doing on our official new website with the help of Squarespace. And first, huge thanks to Squarespace, who are very generously sponsoring today's video and who have made all of this website magic possible. If you've been following our Squarespace saga, you'll have seen our website taking its first e-baby steps, trying on a few different designs from Squarespace's easily swappable, ready-to-go templates, features like instant video embedding, nifty polls, and social integrations, all making an appearance, all made possible through Squarespace's building and editing tools. And even the official T&E one photo of Idris Elba per day mailing list, which I know you loved because those analytics and email campaign reports do not lie. Thanks for those, Squarespace. Squarespace made everything so easy we could put in less effort than we do for one of our videos. But there was still one feature we hadn't tried until now. Presenting launching our new, uber-exclusive, highly desirable Live, Laugh, Love, hear, feel, think Yoga Mom merch. Only available through our website for a limited time. And I mean limited. This will cease to be sold the second Taliesin finishes Shadowbringers. That's the time limit. He runs out of MSQ, this merch is gone forever. Unlike our awesome Squarespace website, which will be here until the internet dies of old age. So, light your Yankee candles, sip your pumpkin spice lattes, and curl up in your very own limited edition T&E tee, hoodie, or sweatshirt, available only through our website, thanks to Squarespace's brilliant e-commerce integration.
Wow, that t-shirt's amazing.
I know, right?
Well done.
Why not make your own website? For a free trial and 10% off your first purchase, just go to squarespace.com/Taliesin and Evitel or click the link in the description to sign up. That's squarespace.com/Taliesin and Evitel.
Hi, Evie, what are you doing?
I'm just telling everyone about our exclusive new merch.
Oh, nice t-shirt. Are you gonna come down and finish the video?
Yeah.
Or maybe this is serious and I don't even know. What do you think the ingredients of Meol are? Here is Meol.
A curl.
I don't know what that means.
A cat.
A cat?
Yeah, like the cat, like, because it's a meow. Meow.
I thought meal as in a meal.
Ah.
But you think the meo comes from meow?
Yeah, it
and
does.
You think it's cats?
In the same way that yeah, because like the curls, like the COEURL.
Do you think it's like house cats, or do you think it's like cat people?
No, it's literally made from curl like meat.
You reckon it's cats?
Yeah, that's why it's called meow.
I'm just gonna say it's made of dwarves.
Oh. Wow. Can't wait to find out.
That's what I think. Is Hydaelyn good or evil? And what do you think will happen?
Well, this ties into everything we... No. We're going beyond good and evil here. I think, but I do like the idea that Hydaelyn isn't the all-powerful one. We've already gotten that sense, right?
Yeah,
people
for sure.
take your echo away. There are things that are more powerful sometimes, So I like the idea that Hydaelyn is one among two or more different forces in the universe. Light is supposed to be good, right? Not always, but ultimately, I think the intentions are good. But I don't think there's like a universal good. What do you think?
I'm basing this purely on the fact that everyone says the Shadowbringers' story is so good, right?
Okay.
And that it's so sad and stuff like that.
Oh.
So, like,
Is it?
based entirely on that, I'm saying that, Hydaelyn is kind of neither good nor evil, and neither Zodiark, right? But, obviously they both want to be all-powerful, and that's not allowed to happen. So we are kind of like unwittingly helping Hydaelyn become all-powerful. The Ascians would like Zodiark to become all-powerful. Maybe the Allagans in the Crystal Tower work towards not letting either of those things happen.
So the Alligans were the mediators.
Maybe.
That's
Or the Crystal
interesting.
Tower is like the mediator or something like
Yeah.
that. So the idea is that we will have to kind of stop Hydaelyn from becoming all-powerful. I mean, this is why I think we are the Shadowbringer. Is that we will have to become the warrior of light and shadow. That means we're working at some very cross purposes, because on one hand, we have to stop the Ascians from making Zodiark all powerful, because that's bad. But at the same time, we can't let Hydaelyn become all powerful, so we're gonna have to stomp her down.
No, Mom.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. It's probably much better than that.
Yeah.
But that's what I've always thought, from the very beginning.
That's potentially concerning because the Scions, to some degree, are doing Hydaelyn's work, right? I mean, they're united behind Alphino's, political savvy and Minfilia's goodness. But I think, that might get us in some tricky situations.
Oh, for sure. And there is a question here as well. Why do some Scions have tattoos and why do some don't?
They were there before they revamped the game.
Oh, you think it's that?
That was supposed to be a joke. I didn't deliver it well.
Sorry.
I didn't even deliver.
You can't joke about this stuff, Evitel. It's far too important.
I thought Charlane's got cool tattoos.
I just kind of always, I don't know how important this question is. Because
Yeah.
that's the thing. I don't know if, when I'm going through the questions, I don't know if they're literal jokes. I'm just going to say that I think, it's just if they've done something awesome and they've just been with the Scions for a long time and they've proven themselves in a way.
Yeah.
Still waiting for mine. I'm going back to that question, which is what do you think happened between Zodiark and Hydaelyn? Because you know what I can't quite get out of my head?
What?
You know that bit in Korra where like the spirits, there's like the big white spirit and the big dark spirit, and it turns out that one of them is holding the other, and like the reason that they are kind of entwined is one of them is keeping the other one in check.
Yeah.
And the Avatar is convinced to set the other one free. Do you think it's something like that, where they were keeping each other in check, like sort of yin and yang, and like holding on to each other? And so the separation wasn't even their choice, maybe.
Right.
You know? But it's happened, so they're like...
Are we doing something bad by fighting just for Hydaelyn?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, clearly.
For sure. Because we're more badass than everyone else. So if we just continue fighting for Hydaelyn, we'll win. And that would be bad. No one should win.
No one
So
should
we
win.
have to like, unless it's beating the Ascians, because they can't be allowed to win, because then Zodiark will win.
Yeah, those guys suck.
No one's allowed to win. Look, I just hate the Ascians, man. As long as we just kill the Ascians, I'm fine. Like, I don't care if Hydaelyn's a goodie or a baddie. I don't care if Zodiark's a goodie or a baddie. All I want is to kill some Ascians. That's all I want.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. I don't know what this question means, so I'm just going to put it out there to you. Ooh. With a strong narrative around the player character being special, what's the point of the other 7 characters in the raid? Are they just mercenaries? Which is a little bit of a leading question.
A little bit. You mean characters in the raid?
Yeah, like literally
just like when you join
the
a
people
raid.
that you raid with, like the other player characters, basically.
Well, I mean, we're all the warrior of light.
Well,
right?
they're all sold as mercenaries, right? So like there are like jokey voice lines when you're going to do like a trial or something.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, you know, we've got to get away, but you always seem to have lots of friends in the area. Maybe they'll come and help you out, stuff like that. In games so far, it's been portrayed as. You know, you're an adventurer and you have loads of adventurer friends. So they come along and they help you out in trials and dungeons and instances and raids, right?
Yeah.
This question leads me to believe that maybe that's not entirely the case.
Maybe.
And then there is some other meaning of that.
Are they all warriors of light in another dimension?
Maybe. Or the more I talk about it, the more I think there is only astral and umbral.
Maybe.
And that the primal forces aren't so important. But
Maybe.
what if there were 8 of them?
Oh, and we're all supposed
we're all
to represent a different one.
Yeah, we're all from like a different dimension, as it were. We are all the warrior of.
Yeah, the warrior of.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
I don't think that's
which is
real.
why we're not affected by primals. Like, none of us are in these battles and stuff.
I don't think that's real, but I like it.
I like it. I don't think it's real either. I like it. So that's kind of like all the questions that cover like the grand theories. I think we've taken some stabs at that, which I'm pretty sure are completely wrong.
Definitely opened my mind today.
We're into more plot points kind of coming up in Shadowbringers now. So, what are the fates of the Scions at the end of Shadowbringers?
Oh my god! Ugh.
Thing is, right, everyone talks about how sad Shadowbringers is.
Someone's gonna die.
Okay, if you had to predict, because that's what this video is, if you had to predict a number of Scions who would die, and I don't know the answer to this. Well, who would they be? Who would hit you the hardest? Or who do you think is the most likely?
I feel like Minfilia has to die because she's the ringleader, in a way.
Do you want to put your headphones on for a sec?
Okay.
I have watched the Shadowbringers trailer, right? So I know Minfilia is in Shadowbringers as a child, okay? Which makes me think like, is there like time travel in Shadowbringers? Or has she been like reborn? There's like a bit in the trailer where everyone's like dancing around the base of the Crystal Tower, which makes me think it might be set in the past, some of it. So I feel like there's some timey-wimey stuff going on, and that could be like trans-dimensional and what have you. And I know for a fact that Thancred is looking after her as well, which is presumably why he becomes a tank, right? It's so he can like tank all of the bad away from Minfilia. That's what I'm guessing. It's like he's protecting Minfilia. He's Dadcrid. Now I understand why everyone calls him Dadcrid. And he's protecting like young Minfilia. Now why Minfilia is young and a baby, I have no idea. It's either a time travel thing or she has been like reborn and is maybe growing up very quickly. I don't know. I would guess towards time travel-y stuff, but I don't know.
I can confirm, listening to music and reading texts from your mom in Polish really helped to scramble everything else that is happening.
Why is my mum sending you texts in Polish? Scions that might die. You reckon Minfilia? So you've got to Matoya's cave in Heavensward, right?
I've just gotten there.
Okay, so you haven't had an exchange between any characters that might seem meaningful yet.
No, we just had a chat and she was like, Stola, you're all grown up,
Yeah.
but you're going to get your tail snipped off.
So if I had to choose characters that would die in Heavensward that everyone would be really upset about,
Yeah.
Y'shtola is an obvious one.
Yeah.
like
Because we get her back.
yeah, and also because just because I feel like her time is limited anyway, and so like I feel like she's gonna die anyway. So
Okay.
why not make her die in a tragic way?
Wow, okay.
I also think you've read a lot of Harry Potter, right? Okay.
Yes.
So, like, we all know that when you want to make people sad without actually doing anything,
Mm-hmm.
you kill Dobby the house elf, right?
Tataru? No.
I feel like Tataru might be like killing Dobby the house elf. It would be horrific if she died.
It would be horrific.
But it would be like her chance, if she did it heroically or whatever, it would be her chance to prove herself to the other Scions and things like that. The down point to that is, of course, is like there'd be no one to make all the costumes.
Also, I have seen the poster for Endwalker,
Oh.
and she is on it. Actually, she's like front and center. So
Okay, but
So-
could that be because like I
She's
don't
dead.
I don't know what Endwalker is all about because
Yeah.
I specifically haven't found out in case it kind of like gave stuff away about Shadowbringers and what have
Yeah.
you. So I mean, it could be that she is dead. I reckon Urianger.
I don't know. He doesn't get out. Like he doesn't get out. I feel like he just chills. I think like Ida and Papalimo will be gone because they were such like a cute but also like throwaway.
I think you might be right
Okay. Cool.
for both of those.
Oh God. Okay.
But also, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Also, what do you think happens to the Scions? Because if we do have to be like, yo, Hydaelyn, this shit ain't right, we're putting you down, like, what role do the Scions even have at that point?
Well, because I imagine some of them would be like, no, like.
Oh,
I
do you think we'll have to kill some Scions?
That's well, if it's gonna
I
be
like the sound
really
of that.
sad, if it's gonna be
Bagsy Alphino.
oh my God, that would be horrible. I would quit. I would be so mad. That would be
You wouldn't
so,
kill Alphino?
I would feel so horrible.
What if
I
you had to choose Alisaie or Alphino?
Oh, that's why there are two of them.
I
That
don't
look
think
the
that's why there are two
same.
of them.
That's why there are two of them because you have to pick one. I
don't
get
think
it.
so.
I get it now.
Stop it. People are going to be writing in the people are going to be so angry in the comments. They're going to be like, Evie, you're an idiot. You have no idea. But like,
Sorry, but the first thing that happens when you get to Matoya's cave, she's like, oh, that little girl. And Alphino is like, excuse me. Like sweeps his bangs away.
in Stormblood, you go back to Matoya's cave with Alisaie, and she's like, Alphino!
I love it.
So I don't think this is going to happen, but who would you choose out of Alphino and Alisaie if you had to kill
if I had
one?
to kill one. Alphino, because it's but yeah, I think it's something that would be truly tragic is if you realize that you can't just be fighting for Hydaelyn all the time. And maybe some of the Scions don't agree with you. Maybe they're like,
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
maybe they're like, no, we really should. And then maybe you have to put some of them down. That would be horrible.
This is another one of those questions that you wouldn't even consider it an important thing, but because someone asked a question about it, you're going to be like, what?
I'm going to wake up in the night thinking about it. Okay.
Why does the Warrior of Light keep collecting little wind-up versions of their friends, foes, and animals?
Oh my God.
Because it's an MMO and that's what you do, right? But
Yes.
why would you ask that question? Why would you ask that question?
It's the same way that, we would hang out in our beautiful, amazing Free Company house. And I'd be like, why is Horsefant standing at the door? Why did they choose him? Like, he's a retainer. He's just standing there. And I was like, oh, that's nice. Why did they choose him? And now I know. Now it's so
Well, exactly.
obvious.
This question is like so evil.
It's
Because,
really
like,
evil.
I still think it is only because
Yeah,
it's an
of course.
MMO and
And
they're
you
cool
just-
toys to
you can
collect.
collect.
But what if it's not? Do you think they're going to make it?
Oh my God, please. They
you
have
think
to
they're
make
gonna
it.
make it?
They have to make it.
I don't want to live in a world without Rauban. I don't want to live in a world where Rauban isn't there. I don't want to live in a world where Rauban cries. I don't want to live in a world where Rauban is even slightly upset in any way. I don't want to live in a world where Rauban stubs his toe.
I'm going to be
We're
okay.
all gonna die. Everyone's gonna die, and Hydaelyn or like someone would be like, "Oh no, it's a shame everyone's dead. It's a shame we don't have like avatars to put all their souls into." And we'll be like, "I got all these wind-up toys."
Yeah.
And it turns out your like toy collection is like Noah's Ark, and it's how everyone is reborn because you collected all the toys. That's why you get them all through main story quests, is so you have them all.
Oh my God. Why have you done this?
And one last question. Who is this man and why is he the most evil character in all of Final Fantasy 14? So he is clearly like a bard.
Okay.
And I know that like it's a bard at the end of Realm Reborn stuff at the Rising Stones who sends you to extreme
right.
trials and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So is he a bard that keeps sending you to the same dungeon for some reason.
Right.
Like, and it's like a meme in Shadowbringers where he's like, okay, now go and do it at a higher difficulty or something like that.
Who knows?
I wonder.
Can't wait to meet him. Great. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Final Fantasy is ruined.
Yeah, I don't think I'm even going to play Shadowbringers now. Sounds rubbish. The lore that we've made up for Shadowbringers it sucks.
Can't wait to kill all of my friends.
So that's our predictions. Yeah. Feel free to like make fun of us in the comments because we're not going to read the comments until after we played Shadowbringers. And in fact, I guess that'll be another video when we've played Shadowbringers and we come back to this video and read the comments and like assess our speculation. I'm pretty sure all the comments are just going to be, wow, how did you know? You must have cheated. You must have looked because there's no other way you could have possibly been so accurate.
So right
And
on.
Yoshi P is already either sending over a job offer or an assassination squad, so we don't ruin Endwalker. This must have been very painful to watch for anyone that has played Shadowbringers, but I hope you found some entertainment in it.
Hope you did.
Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, don't thank us, thank our patrons who make all of our work possible by giving us their actual real-life money.
I do.
Thank you.
You guys are really good and special. And thank you to everyone who submitted a question.
Oh yeah, if you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is Natsuko Ishikara.
Oh, I wish.
Me too. No, my name is Taliesin from me.
And me, Evitel.
Until next time, cheerio.